Space, the final frontier. This is the 2.5-year journey of the build of the Starship Enterprise. Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and welcome to Pack 6 and Stage 19 of Star Trek The Next Generation, build the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D from Hero Collector. So, this is the big one. This is a massive... I haven't filmed it yet, but it's going to be a massive video. There's so much comes with this, and so much we've got to do, and stuff with other things. It's going to be fun. But yeah, this won't be the video where I'm looking at the episodes, because this is just going to be immense already. So the stage 19 parts, we've got, let's say, deck panel, reflector panel, clear long windows, dark long windows, clear windows and dark windows, escape pod covers, deck panel lights, dorsal phaser array part 1, battle section skeleton 2, which is that one, obviously bit that part there. We've got 4 stickers, which are interesting, and lots of screws. But yeah, obviously in the next coming parts we'll be getting other parts. The stage 19 assembly is where it's at. So in this assembly, we're going to be putting all of these hull panels onto the skeletal structure that we've already built and been building up. This one, that one there, this bit, which I now believe is the underside. It's not the top, it's the bottom of the ship. As all these panels that we've been doing, I think they've been the bottom of the ship. I don't want an ice cream, it's fine, he'll turn that off in a minute. So although they're showing this on there from the top, I'm pretty sure that it might well be the bottom. I don't know, but it certainly hasn't got the NCC 1701 bit written on it. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing throughout a big chunk of this video. First of all, we're going to be doing this and making the clear windows and the panels on there. I'll do that off camera because it's just what we've been doing before. I'll be cutting off all of these, keeping the spares, but basically we're putting them onto this section like that. Oh, look, it's almost the right size and shape for you to just do it on the picture, but it won't be. I'll probably change a couple of them up because it's tradition at this point. I just have to. So this, I think, is that the middle bit, because it's different to the others. I think it might be this little bit at the front. Probably, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. So I'm going to be doing that. It says to cover the row of 4 dark windows using a sticker to keep them in place. I don't want to, but did it not just tell me? Okay, no, it's put the escape pods on, then put those on, and all the rest. Cover the ones at the top, but not the others. I don't know. Then there's long windows to put into there. Don't know why it thinks the top ones might need a sticker, but we'll work around it and see. So I'll get them in and we'll see about putting stickers over them, and then we'll go to inserting the lights, and then we'll start inserting it all into the framework. So I'll cut the video, I'll get the bits all cut off and put away and put out and added in, and then we'll go from there. Right, that's all of those put in. A couple of them have been deliberately misplaced because I can. Now, I haven't put any tape on there because I haven't felt the need to yet. I've put in the long ones as well. We'll see what happens. There's probably a good reason for me to tell you to do that, but as it's all going to be held in place with this anyway, I don't see the need at the moment. So we're taking one of these. These 4 are all exactly the same, apparently. So we're going to be taking one of each and bending them quite dramatically again. We do this 90-degree bend thing that I really don't like, but it tells us to, so we have to. I'm going to bend that one in the opposite direction because they're going to be sitting down next to each other in the grooves there. So that's going to go over there. These are going to go through there first and locate into place in there. Now I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which way round, but let's match it up anyway. We'll turn it around so the yellow one's on that side. Red one on that side, yellow one on that side. We'll do that because we can. So these are going to sit in there. And this whole thing is then going to go in place on there. I've already got my screws ready, so I'm ahead of the game. Look. So somehow I've got to keep those in place there, which should be all right like that, I think. It says with one of them already coming out of place. What's that? Yeah, that'll be right like that. So if I keep those in place with this hand, and I'll move that one out of the way, and they're still in the right place, ish. Yeah, pretty much. Then I just got to line this up with there. So it feels like that went exactly where it should do. I know it's terrible. I'm sure it isn't, but it feels like it did. One thing I haven't got to hand is a screwdriver. I've got one just here. It's all right. It's not the one from this build, but it's all right. So it says to put in these two, which makes sense because they're the sort of central ones. So putting in those two screws there should basically stop me having to hold it together with my fingers. So I can feel they're done up fairly tight. I've probably got another bit of a half turn in those if I need it anyway. So before I do anything else, I'm going to feel that it's not quite where it should be. This top bit is not joined up. I can't tip it to show you because everything will fall all over the place. And I can see this one has indeed started to slip out. So let's push that back where it should be. Then we'll see if I can't find out why it's not going in the right place. All the windows seem to be in the right place. Oh, it's curved downwards, so these are not locating. There we go. Just needed a little bit of persuasion to pop those corners in like that. Good. Now, check all of these still have windows in them. They do. All the escape pods are still there. Good. That's how it looks from the front. So now we can go back. The lights are still in the right place. That's okay. We can go back and put in 4 more screws. Where are they going? They're going into the other 4 screw holes. All down the bottom, though. That's interesting. The top bit, that might be why it said to put that in place with a tape. If we're not doing anything with that quite yet. But I'm sure we will be very shortly. It'll all be good. It'll be fine. Right, I'm going to stop the video there. I'll get these screws in and then clear the bench a little bit to bring in the big framework, and we're going to start adding panels to that. Okay, before I go away, one bit I missed. You use 2 more of these. It does say to use the yellow ones. Bend them as before. And they're going into these side panels here. So that's why you can't tighten these down quite yet. I think I'll probably tighten that too much to let me slip that in place. Even more so if I'm going to drop it. Let me grab that back again. So the one that I've bent is going to go into that side panel. These ones are the ones that have got the little peg you can see just sticking out there that goes just beyond the bulb. I might need to loosen that even a little bit. It's probably where that bit popped in. That makes it a little bit tricky to pull it back far enough to get that in. There we go. Now, actually, that's not going to go in quite far enough because of that bend in it. Let's put this one in before bending it. I don't know why I've gone over to the other side. No reason for it at all. Loosen that off again. That. And that one a touch. That one's already a bit loose. So let's get the yellow one in there. Again, this is just going to not want to separate much. I don't want to pop it because I don't want all the windows to launch out. Right, there we go. So yeah, that's got to go in a bit further before it gets bent. So I think putting it in straight, tightening down that screw, and then bending it up against the framework is the better idea. So that means this is going to have to be straightened and then bent in a slightly different place. I hope, because I'm bending it in a slightly different place, straightening it won't be too much of a problem. I straightened it a little bit. Did I tighten that up again? I don't remember. I don't think I did, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get it back out. But let's loosen it off a little bit more. Make sure we've got a bit of a gap there. We have. So yellow one going in there. Why is this side proving to be so much more of a problem than the other side? It wouldn't be fun if it was easy. That's the reason, isn't it? There we go. That goes in there all the way. Tighten that down. Then we can bend that up in a slightly different place. Right, now the final check. Make sure everything is where it should be. Yes. And let's go back down and tighten all of these screws down. Right, I shall now pause the video and come back when I've cleared the bench and got some more framework ready to start installing things such as this into it. So yeah, okay, I've gone for a slightly wider angle so you can see more of what's going on. This is where it gets fun, interesting, and probably a real pain. Right, we've got to start feeding this onto there. This one is actually going to sit right down at the very front here, but the way the wires go in are highlighted in step D, as you can see. So I'm going to turn it over, because that's the orientation that I need to be to screw it in place anyway. So I'm then going to turn that over as well. So this is obviously going underneath there, but it's got the wires coming through on this side. So if we take that in there, that one's got to come through here, a bit like that. That one has got to come through there, a bit like that. Yeah, up you come. And this one has got to come through there. Yes, through there as well. A bit like that, even though that's higher up than the others. Right, okay, let's try that. So we're feeding all this through, being careful not to bend wires and things anymore. Even though... Is that one going to have to be over that side? I don't get it. I can't have both the wires coming from that side, because one of the bulbs is on the other side. So that's not actually going to work the way that they say it is. Don't think. It might. I don't know. I'm sort of a little bit at a loss. That's saying to put them up there. That makes sense to me there. Right. These two holes in the middle there are obviously going to line up with this bracket here. So it's actually a lot further forward than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, they're overhanging the edge quite a lot. So, how's that going to go through there if it's not actually near there? It's actually more here. So maybe they shouldn't have been bent up quite so much. I don't know. It definitely says it's going in through there. And it definitely doesn't quite line up like that. Let me maneuver things a little bit. Right, that's got to be the right position. So these two holes at the edges here are going to line up with these bits there as well. That makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is this bit there going through there when it actually comes up the other side of it. Let me feed a bit more through. I'm going to tear that down a little bit further. I'm going to knock things off the back because this is just far too big. Right, let's try that. If that then lines up like that, and that will squish down like that, can I get a couple of DP screws in place? I've already got them out of the bag because I knew I'd be using them. So let's try and, again, push that across a little bit. That should, hopefully. I can feel it biting something, so let's leave that there. Go for the other one. Again, I can feel it biting something. So that's sort of working a bit like that. I can understand that. Let's tighten that down again. So that's on there. It's not entirely completely attached. but it's definitely on there. It matches up, it lines up. That's a little bit disconcerting. That's not quite down there, but I think that will happen when other things attach. So before other things attach, I do have to put these bulbs in place in those little slots at the top there. So let's put that through there. I might find this easier to do from the front. Yeah, they're going to go in there. Sort of under the thing and in a bit and next to it and there. And there, actually, that's exactly where that one needs to be. Get that one round in exactly the same place. In and down and locked under that little pin. So yeah, that sort of works, although I'm not too sure about the excess wire of it, but that's that. Now it says to use a sticker to get the things into a tidy bundle. I think a tidy bundle is exactly what. I've got some movement to a panel over here as well. I think I need to tighten up a couple of screws over this side. But first of all, let's use a sticker. So in theory, I've got 2 stickers left, although I've actually got 3 left because I didn't use one to hold the things in place. So that just says put those in a tidy bundle. Obviously, so you know that they're all coming from the same place. They're all going to the same place. It's just them bundled together and out of the way, hopefully. Right, that makes a vague sort of sense to me. I quite like that. That seems to work so far. Right, now I need more hull panel pieces, and I shall bring those over and try and put a couple more in place. Right, this is a little bit different. We've got to take this apart. I don't know why we put it together if we only had to take it apart again anyway. Does that fit? Or is that? That's where that bit is going to go. I know that much, but there we go. Right, first of all, we've got to take out these 2 screws that hold that together. So that, I think, is just going to separate that top section. Maybe that bulb will come out. I don't know. So we'll keep those screws there, because remember that they're DM screws, not the DP screws that I've been working with so far. So that comes off there. Okay, so that bulb will potentially be loose, and those escape pods are potentially loose. We don't need that yet. We need this, which is going down here. Yes, because I've turned it over from that picture in stage E. It's going over here. I've still got this up that way because it obviously needs to be up that way. So it shows vaguely where you've got to put things. They're through. Everything's going through that big opening, I think. No, they're going to have to come out of the other opening. So this is going to have, right, that's coming out through here. Thusly. This one has got to come out through the other one. It doesn't really show clearly. Yeah, it must be, it is. It's coming out through here. Like that. Because they're going to be next to that, really next to that, but there we go. So that's going in there. It just says set it to one side, threading the wires through before securing with 3 DP screws. Let's get me 3 DP screws, and again it's going to take a little bit of gentle persuasion and nudging. What 3? Where? What? DP, oh, 2 there and 1 over there. So yes, those 2, that'll hold that one in place, and the one next to it, and this one over here. So these lights, I've got to figure out how they're going to fit in place. They're at a slightly different level to the other ones that I've been playing with, so that's a good thing. I think tweezers are a good idea to manipulate the wires without bending and trying to get my fingers jammed in place. So that's got to be about there, but without those wires sticking out the back as well. Pull that through as well. And it's got to go closer together than that. That was there, isn't it? That's that one. I can put that back in place in a minute. That one, judging by the picture, just says it needs to come up through that hole, but it can't come up through that hole because that one's already going through it and they're attached. So let's not go through that hole. Why has it gone through there? It shouldn't have gone through there at all. Let's take that back through there. Let's have it come up through this hole, because this is the hole that's closest to everything. I don't care what they say. I'm going to do it my way. So, attempting to get wires right next to each other, not actually touching each other, although they're pretty much going to. Got to come down while that one still stays up. Oh, this is going to be a right pain. And this is only the first couple of panels. This is going to be great. Right, the trouble I'm having is all of these wires meeting up. That's the one that was under there that obviously doesn't still want to stay under there because of reasons. So yeah, that one's got to go under there. This has got to go right next to it, but all the wires are obviously sticking out and through, so they've got to go underneath both of them while that goes and fills that gap. So I'm going to stop the video again, manipulate it with a big hammer, and see if I can't get it screwed in place. So yeah, sorry I can't show you this, but I'm going to get very, very stressed with it. I might use some long swear words, so I shall see you very shortly. Hopefully very shortly for me as well, but we'll see. Well, with some creative words and talking and shouting a bit, I've been able to get that panel in and that panel in as well. Again, wires, one of these actually said to unplug the wire and reroute it through there, which makes sense to me. I don't know why we didn't do that with these, but we didn't, and I haven't, so we'll see how it goes. We're coming back to this panel, which I have added the windows as instructed. So this is going in there, basically. It's covering those two. So one of those bulbs is going back in place where it should be, and we need the final other bulb, which is going in there. So again, we've got to get that there, those popped under, and this in the right place. Now this is being held in place with various different screws. We've got some BM and EM screws in different places, so it's going to be another tricky one and fun to try and film. So it's going about there and about like that, but obviously before I can put it in place, I've got to get the bulbs in place, and everything's just, yeah. Why did I start doing this part work? What possible reason did I have to hate myself quite so much? So let's grab a BM screw or two. So these are going to go. Right, these are going to be the EM, so that's easy. So this one here, for instance, needs to go there. Let's put it there. Let's see if I can't get that at least in a little bit to make sure I've got everything lined up where it should be. It's in there. So that's that. Bulbs to go in. These bulbs should be relatively easy because there's nothing else around. It's these ones where they've got all the bulbs joining up at the same place at the edges. It's almost like they didn't think, wait a minute, we've already got a bulb on that edge. They just sort of didn't bother. So that can now go under there. A bit like that. The other new one, that's that one. It says the yellow one, so I'm going to use the yellow one. Go under there. Again, just like that. And then I can get another one of these BM screws. Hopefully. Get it in there. It's definitely tightening into something. I can feel something moving on the other side. Hopefully it doesn't mean I've just popped a bit out of place. So that's sort of in there. I know it's not in with all of the screws, but I just need to turn it over. Yeah, I can see one of the light panels. The lifeboat panels moving. So how does this? It does fit over the top there, so I'm doing them in the right order. So that I just need to make sure is popped in place. under there, like that. I think that bit might be in the way now. Might not be. Or it might be. Or now I've turned it over, one of the bulbs is probably out of place. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to film this bit again. I'm going to get this arranged and then we'll see. But this is the centre line and that's one of the transporter buffery things. So everything's going in the right places. I don't think I'm installing that bit yet. They're obviously waiting for a bit later to try and put that one in place. So yeah, and that's not quite right down there, but that's probably just a bulb alignment problem again. Right, I'll get it tidied up. Then we'll come back for the testing. That's going to be the thing, and see if it all works. I'm not holding my breath. Right, that's everything in, tightened and happy. The only bit that I'm not happy about, these are a bit loose, but that's probably because there's nothing holding it in from that side as yet, because that's that whole top bridge. Although that one seems to be all right, but this one, it's got a light next to it, so I'm sure that that will be sorted. I've got the battery pack, I've got the board. I'm just going to start plugging things in and seeing what happens. Now, it does say about use C and D and everything, but basically I'm just making sure that all of these lights actually light up. So that one did. That lit up something. That lit up something. That lit up something. That's the one that's not attached to anything yet. And I can say it didn't do anything, but it did. It's the one that half hanging out over there. We've got a bit over here as well. That's the main one in the middle. Working good. And the last one, get it the right way around. Yeah, does things as well. So I'm happy. Everything's working, irrespective of all my angling and wrangling and moving and stuff. It looks all right. I don't. This one obviously is one of the more middle bits, isn't it? Somewhere up here somewhere, but it goes across the middle, so probably going to go there, I think. But obviously we need to put that panel in first, and then it all builds up around it. So yeah, that's that. That's not that with the build. I've got one more page of things to do. I've got to attach this in place on there, indeed, with 3 screws, which I shall find some DP screws to do that. And then I'll get this out of the way, and we've got to do a little bit more on the Cobra neck. So lots of stuff, still things to do, more clips, more editing. Oh, great. Yeah, see you in a minute. So the final part of the build, we're basically enhancing the already substantial framework. That's that way round. That goes right in there, just like that. It does. It makes it even more frameworky. I suppose it's got to take the entire weight of the saucer section, so it's got to be very substantial. We're using 10 of the BM screws in various places on this. Basically everywhere that looks like it should have one. So there's one there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right in the middle there. 8, oh, where I dropped it, 9, and 10 is there. Right, I'll get these all tightened up and screwed in, and then that's the end. We'll have a look at what I've accomplished so far. And there we go, that's that assembled, all frameworked up. It's got quite a pleasing shape to it. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to be doing more with that over the coming issues. But as I promised, the look at what we've done so far. That's the rest of it. Look, it's over here. As I say, I think this is probably the bottom. I don't know for sure, but if it isn't, then when that bit goes on there, that bit should have the writing on it, I think. But I don't know. I'm assuming the bottom is much the same as the top, but without the same writing. Has it just got the number on it? I don't recall. Actually, it can't really be the bottom, because the bottom's got to have a gap for this to go on. I don't know how they're going to work it. I'm sure it's going to have the name on it somewhere, because it's pretty much got to, isn't it? But that's all assembled on there, wired up, and I'm fairly happy with how it works. This bit will get tidied up when more panels get added around it, no doubt. So that was that. A very long video, I'm sure. It might not end up being the longest one. I know the intro one was quite long, but it's certainly the one that's taken the longest time to film. So I shall see you soon for the next one, which will be a lot shorter. Until then, have fun, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Oh, live long and prosper as well. Yes, and bye bye.